African proud woman. Rise up, African woman. Definition of a power.
Hi everyone, it's another beautiful day. Actually, here it's a Wednesday. It's International Labour's Day. So I think it's a global event. I didn't bother to check whether it's just Ethiopian or it's international. Actually, here in Ethiopia, they have a different calendar. They don't use the other calendar which other countries are using. They're having their own specific calendar. So as a result, most of the holidays only applies to them. Like for instance, on Friday was Easter, and the international calendar had celebrated the other weekend. So that is the difference between this calendar. So I didn't bother to check if it's a global thing, but the way this name sounds, International Labour's Day, so I presume or I'm assuming that it's for everyone. So for all those hardworking, smart people, happy Labour's Day. Let's continue working hard, and for sure, God will continue blessing the hard work of our hands. Okay. So today in this video, I'm gonna talk about the top 10 most top 10 most educated countries in Africa. So I'm sure you can notice I'm a bit nervous. I am slowly trying to overcome my fear of videos, and sorry, I have to use my earphones because when I was talking face to face, the voice is not coming out. So as the other YouTubers say, use whatever you have to keep moving, right? So I have my earphone, and so that's what I'm gonna use. So however, my good friends, like those ones in US, like Sheriff and Peter, they can donate for me a very nice earphone. You know, those classy ones, you hang them over here, then you look all classy and stuff. Yeah, you should donate them to me. You should buy and bring them over. I'm sure you'll be happy. I'm sure I'll be very happy if you could do that. So let's get to the video, because sometimes I can talk too much, you know. Alright, so guys, I had to write down my script. So because I want the video to be okay, at least by the end of the video, you should learn something. Or if you don't learn something, I should have reminded you of something, right? But my aim is to educate something. Since I'm the education consultant, I aim to, at the end of the video, you should have learned something, anything. Okay? So I wrote down my script. So once in a while, you'll see my eyes going up and down. Just know I'm reading. So but at the same time, I'm gonna still be talking to my people, and also this is just to help me to make sure that I don't forget anything. So that's why I wrote it down. So education and progress are interrelated. The more educated a country is, the more progressive it's likely to be. One can clearly see a country that has majority of its citizens who are educated. They tend to do better than the other countries that don't have many people who are educated. Okay, so for those who don't know, literacy rate is, oh my god, did I say late? Literacy rate is a tool that may be used to evaluating academic standards of various countries based on population of the educated people. Educated people can be defined as those who can read and write. So if you can read and write, then you are automatically an educated person. Okay? So in society, knowledge is power. So in this video, I'll try to seek out the most educated countries in Africa. So before we go there, I just need to share with you a bit, for those who don't know, is that education systems differs in different countries and in different continents. So it's a bit difficult to evaluate which education system is better than the other, because one has an advantage of the other over the other, and the same applies as disadvantages. So it has its own pros and cons. Okay. So I need to also bring out that Africa is made of 64 countries. The reason why I'm raising this is because, well, actually I was in Malaysia for 9 years, and whenever, especially the local Malaysians, whenever they see an African or they see a dark-skinned person, automatically they assume that that person is from Nigeria. They didn't understand that Africa has 64 countries. So yes, Africa is a big continent, but it has 64 countries in it. So in this video, I'm going to feature the top 10 most educated African countries, but that does not mean that the other 54 countries are not educated. So in short, I need to also clear out that Africa has many beautiful and intelligent people. So this is just top 10, but it doesn't mean that the other 54 are not brilliant, or they're not educated, or they're not smart enough. No, it doesn't mean that at all. So also another thing I need to raise up is that other countries are well developed while others are not. For instance, the well-known country most people know everywhere in the world, I think, is South Africa. While when I read out the list for you, you might be surprised that even Democratic Republic of Congo is actually among the top 10 most educated. Most of the time, whenever we hear Congo, we just believe war, but its citizens are very educated. Okay, so for this list to come up, data was considered from various sources, and these sources were statistics from UNESCO, data from Africa Economist, the World Bank, and lastly, the class base. So without further ado, please let's take a look at the most educated African countries. And while actually I'm going to use the presentation format. So gradually I'm trying to come up with creative ways of how to make my videos unique. So yeah, for now we're going to use presentation slides. I think that's old school method, right? But yeah, old school is good stuff. So guys, this is the top 10 most educated countries in Africa. So I'm gonna make this a bit bigger so it can look more presentable. I don't know, I like this part, but what I don't understand is why this thing is calculating time for me. But anyway, maybe it shows how long I'm taking with my presentation, and I hope my presentation is gonna be brief and straight to the point. Okay, so as you all know, my name is Patricia Lurare. I'm an education consultant. So our top 10 most educated countries in Africa, the first country is Zimbabwe with a literacy rate of 90.70%. Our country number 2 is Equatorial Guinea with an impressive literacy rate of 87.00%. Our country number 3 is South Africa with a literacy rate of 86.40. Our country number 4 is Kenya with a high literacy rate of 85.10%. And country number 5 is Namibia with a literacy rate of 85%. Our country number 6 is São Tomé and Príncipe. I hope I'm pronouncing that name properly. If I'm not, if there's anyone from this country, please feel free to correct my pronunciation. So it has a high literacy rate of 84.90%. And our country number 7 is Lesotho with a literacy rate of 84.80%. Our country number 8 is Mauritius. Its literacy rate is estimated around as 84.40%. And our country number 9 is Congo with a high literacy rate of 83.80%. And our country number 10 is Libya with a literacy rate of 82.80%. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, this is our top 10 most educated African countries. I'll just read them fast again. Zimbabwe, Equatorial Guinea, South Africa, Kenya, Namibia, São Tomé and Príncipe, Lesotho, Mauritius, Congo, and Libya. So in this next part of the of the video is what I call dig deeper. This is where I went further to study about this particular country, so to know something about what makes these countries more unique compared to others. There must be something special about these countries, right? So this is a part you might want to take a break here, because it's going to be I'm going to go deeper to understand something about that particular country. Okay, so this is about Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe has the largest platinum and diamond reserves in the world. Brand names do not matter in Zimbabwe. Every toothpaste is called Colgate, and every drink is called Coke. Zimbabwe is a young nation, and half of its population are under 21. Zimbabwe is a multi-currency nation. It abandoned its own currency, the Zimbabwe dollar, for foreign currencies such as South African rand, US dollar, euro, and Botswana pula. In Zimbabwe, you can buy an item priced in South African rand, pay it in euros, and get change in USD dollars. And then it's illegal to sell products bearing the color of the Zimbabwe national flag. Okay, so let's get to know something about Equatorial Guinea. It is the smallest African country to be a member of the United Nations. Fewer than 1 million people live there. It is one of the richest African countries, and however, the gap between the rich and the poor is quite huge. Okay, it's the third largest oil exporter in sub-Saharan Africa. It's the only country in Africa to have Spain as the official language, and approximately 67.6% of the population can speak it. So, and Spanish is the language that is used for public administration and education. Okay, so this is facts about South Africa. So South Africa, whenever you hear South Africa, I'm sure the first person that comes into mind is Nelson Mandela. So Nelson Mandela has 6 different names. Okay, and for some strange reason, he has 6 different names. And so at birth, he was given the name as Romihala Mandela. On his first day of school, the teacher gave him the name Nelson because they found it very difficult to pronounce the African names. So he was given an English name. At 16, he was given a name Dalibunga. Actually, one of the reasons why I decided to share the slides is in case I'm pronouncing the names badly, you can help me pronounce them properly. Okay, so, and South Africans commonly call him Madiba, or simply Tata or Kulu. The Xhosa names, the Xhosa words for father and grandfather. So South Africa has 3 capital cities. Cape Town is the legislative, Pretoria is the administrative, Bloemfontein is the judicial. There are 11 official languages, each with equal status in South Africa. Okay, South Africa has hosted a football 2010, cricket 2003, rugby 1995 World Cups. Besides South Africa, the other country which has managed to host such huge events is England, if I'm not wrong. Okay, the world's largest diamond was found in the premium mine of Equatorial. Okay, the world's second largest brewing company in South Africa, the Submiller, was founded as South African Breweries in 1895. The first successful heart transplant was carried out in the Cape Town Hospital. South Africa is the only country in the world to build and then decide to dismantle the whole nuclear weapon program. South Africa has one of the world's most luxurious trains. South Africa is part of BRICS. And if you want to know what is BRICS, I put the definition at the bottom. This is the acronym referring to an association of the top 5 main emerging world markets, consisting of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. BRICS represents 42% of the world's population. South Africa is also part to be the G20, an international forum for the world's top economic countries. These are the countries which are I can say I don't know if it's good to say it, they move the world. I think that's the best way I can define it. Okay, so let's go about Kenya. Kenya, my lovely country. So the country is named after Mount Kenya, which is the highest point in the country. Kenya is widely known around the world for its distance runners. Interesting enough, these runners actually come from the same tribe, and they are known as Kalenjins. The king was in Kenya at Treetops Hotel on the 6th February 1952 when she became Queen of United Kingdom and the Dominions of the British Commonwealth on the death of her father George VI. Prince William proposed to his bride-to-be Kate Middleton, lying at the foothill of Mount Kenya. The rustic, actually it was a private event. So in short, he proposed to her in Kenya. That's what matters, okay? The 14 Falls in Thika is one of the longest and the steepest waterfalls in Africa. Kenya is the world's leading safari destination. Dr. Wangari Maathai, the first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize, was born in Kenya in 1940. Kenya is one of the few countries in which John Paul II visited 3 times. Awesome stuff about Kenya. Okay, so Namibia. Okay, the president Hage Geingob. Man, this was a tougher. Namibia has been listed as the top 10 most dedicated presidents in Africa. He holds a Master's of Arts in International Affairs and Bachelor of Arts. The Namib Desert, in which the country takes its name, is the world's oldest desert. It is thought to have existed for at least 55 years. In 2014, Namibia became the first African country to use electronic voting in the presidential election. During its colonial occupation, Germany committed genocide in what now Namibia, killing 65,000. And that is between 1904 to 1907. So in 2004, Germany officially apologized to the government of Namibia for the colonial killings. Namibia has Africa's largest free-roaming populations of black rhinos, as well as the largest cheetahs population in the world. The ghost town of Kalmanskog in Namibia was one of the wealthiest places in the world. The northern part of the Atlantic coast of Namibia is called the Skeleton Coast. Portuguese sailors called the area the Gates of Hell, and Namibia bushmen refer it to as the land God made in anger. So in short, from what I read, is that if you go to this particular land, is that what you'll find is mostly abandoned sheep parts and all that. So I think that is why they call them the land God made in anger, or the gates of hell. Okay. One of the most comical interesting facts about Namibia is that US President Donald Trump can't pronounce the name Namibia. The president twice referred to Namibia as Nambia, incurring plenty ridicule online, and obviously that came from BBC. But anyway, sometimes English is difficult. Okay, so facts about São Tomé and Príncipe. They're officially known as Democratic Republic of São Tomé and Príncipe. It's a Portuguese-speaking nation situated in the Gulf of Guinea. The island of São Tomé was named after Saint Thomas by the Portuguese explorers who happened to arrive at the island at the saint feast days. Cocoa is the main plant of the island nation, and it represents 95% of the country's export. There are around six banks in the country. The country gained independence on the 12th of July 1975 from Portugal. The official language is Portuguese. São Tomé and Príncipe has many beautiful beaches. São Tomé culture is a mixture of African and Portuguese influences. Actually, these two different islands, but they're kind of named as one. So São Tomé is one island and Príncipe is another island. So yeah. So facts about Lesotho. Hence its nickname Kingdom of the Sky. Okay, the only independent state which exists entirely above 1,000 meters. Lesotho roughly translates as land of Sesotho speakers. As individual in Lesotho is known as Mosotho. An individual is Mosotho. The people as a collective are called Basotho. And the official language of Sesotho. So once again, please forgive me if I'm pronouncing wrongly, and feel free to correct me at the bottom on the comment section. Yeah. Lesotho is a landlocked country, a country surrounded by land with no access to the sea. But that's the definition of a landlocked country. It's they have no sea access. Okay. Lesotho is one of the handful of places in Africa where it's possible to ski. So if you like skiing, then Lesotho is a place you need to go to. In the area, Lesotho is slightly smaller than they are comparing Lesotho to Maryland in US. Lesotho sees 300 days of sunshine, and that is between October, and rainfalls between October and April. Lesotho has 3 rivers, the Caledon River, the Orange River, the Tungele River, all those rivers originating from the Lesotho Mountains. Okay. So facts about Mauritius. We are almost ending up, so don't sleep. Alright, so facts about Mauritius. Their president, Dr. Amina Gurib. Mauritius has been positioned as number 6, one of the top most educated presidents in Africa. She holds a PhD in organic chemistry from Equatorial University, Bachelor of Science in Chemistry. Mauritius is one of the small numbers of countries named after a person. It was named by the Dutch in honor of Prince Mauritius van Nassau. In 2017, Mauritius was named one of the 4 countries in the world which has no involvement of ongoing international or domestic conflict and no tension with the neighboring countries. The other was Botswana, Chile, and Uruguay. Yeah. Doesn't move. So this information is coming from the Global Peace Index 2017. The above may explain why Mauritius does not even have a standing army. Imagine that. I think it's one of those countries that they don't spend so much money on war. Instead, they do other things that is more constructive. So Mauritius was the only known habitat of dodo. That tells us if there's this particular cartoon. I've seriously forgotten the name, but it had dodo, and it was a captain protecting the dodo bird. Yeah, so this is the country that only had that bird. So the dodo has been permanently featured in the country's national coat of arms, providing one of the most poignant, interesting facts about Mauritius. It is said that author Lewis Carroll was inspired to write his famous book Alice in Wonderland in part of the stuffed dodo of the Oxford University Museum of Natural History. Mauritius is the only African country to have Indian majority of 48% of population. There is freedom of religion in the country. And so in Mauritius was declared one of the best beach destinations in 2011. The country is frequently voted as the world's best honeymoon destination. So if you're planning to do a wedding and you don't know where to go, then you should be thinking about Mauritius. So we are almost finishing up. And fact about Congo. Kinshasa, the capital, is the second largest French-speaking city in the world. The Democratic Republic of Congo is the second largest country in Africa. The country has hosted the hosts the United Nations largest peacekeeping mission in the world, with over 21,000 soldiers from approximately 50 different countries. And I'm wondering, if they have such a huge number of soldiers, why are they finding it difficult to maintain peace in that country? So let me know what you think about that. If they're having around 21,000 soldiers, why is there no peace in Congo? Why are they finding it difficult to overcome, to overcome this problem? The DRC is among the most resource-rich countries on the planet, with an abundance of gold, titanium. So these guys are the most, I read somewhere they are saying that the most richest country in the world, but unfortunately they will never taste their wealth. All their wealth is underground, in which they are fighting on. So if there is peace in Congo, then definitely, if there is peace, then they can end up enjoying those resources which God has blessed them with. Okay. So, for those who don't know, Congo has a population of 80 million inhabitants. The ethnic groups, they have 200 ethnic groups. And sometimes that is one of the factors that causes fighting. If you have 200 ethnic groups and you don't have a common language uniting these tribes, then that is where the problem comes in. For instance, in Kenya, we have around, I think last time I checked, it was around 45 different languages. But what unites the country is the fact that majority of the citizens can speak English and Swahili. So you can go anywhere and still survive because there's a common language. So I'm not sure about Congo, if they have the same thing, but 200 is quite a lot. So the last country is Libya, and Libya is the 4th largest country in Africa after Algeria, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Sudan. But where is Nigeria in this list? Anyway, okay. In Libya, the entire history, it has one king. King Idris reigned from 1951 until he was overthrown by Colonel Gaddafi. The area of Mediterranean Sea north of Libya is frequently called the Libyan Sea. So, guys, this is our top 10 most educated countries. And in this video, I actually went further to explain, to share with you something that makes the country more unique. So, this leaves us with the question of the day. What is your thought of having a multi-current nation such as Zimbabwe? Okay, and the second question is, what is your thought about the Namibia oldest desert, which has existed for at least 55 years? Do you think they should claim the land and do something with it, or they should just let it be a desert for more than, because 55 years is quite a long time for them not to do anything about the land? Okay, and quote of the week is that don't limit a child to your own learning, for he was born in another time. Okay, and the person who said this here's another tough name, Rabindranath Tagore. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and this marks the end of this video. I know it will come approximately like 30 minutes, but with time I'll try to reduce the time. To at least 10 minutes or so I can go straight to the point. So thank you for watching and have a good day.
It's brotherhood thing. Oh na na na, oh na na na. My name is Beto. Bless that African woman, rich skin tone my woman, true African proud woman. Rise up African woman, definition of a party now. Rhyme so hard she a hustler.